My first video was a video about what not to buy and blow your budget on. In other words, how to do competition barbecue cheaply. Well, in this video, I'm going to go over what not to get cheap on. One of the most important things to not be cheap with is your meat. Whatever you're going to cook for competition, you're going to have to spring the money to buy. In that case, and to that effect, if you're planning on cooking a Wagyu brisket for competition, you cannot go out and just buy anything from Walmart, or you cannot go out and buy prime, or you cannot go out and buy certified Angus beef and expect it to be the same thing, or cooked the same way rather, as what Wagyu beef would do. It's not. It's completely different. It will not end up the same way. Now, the practices and the approach to it is the same. I found this out the hard way because I did my very first competition. I practiced just getting any brisket I could get my hands on from Walmart. And for the competition, I ended up getting a prime brisket, and it cooked completely different. So whatever you're going to cook in comp, you need to cook in practice. So if you're planning on cooking Wagyu, you're going to spend the money for the Wagyu for competition, and you're also going to spend that coin in practice, unfortunately. Which brings me to practicing. You're going to have to buy what you cook for pork, for brisket, for chicken, for ribs, everything. Exactly what you're going to cook in comp. And you're going to have to practice. And no matter what anybody says, time is money, believe it or not. In the United States military, and in the Navy in particular, which I was in for 15 and a half years, we always had a saying, to train like you fight. This is extremely true in competition barbecue. You have to train like you're going to compete, which means buying the exact same meat, which means cooking a mock competition, buying all the meat that you're going to cook. If you're going to cook for competition, 1 brisket, 2 shoulders, 3 racks of ribs, and 18 or 16 or 12 or whatever, chicken thighs, chicken legs, whatever, and you're going to have to buy that. You're going to have to cook it just like you would in a competition. You're going to have to make it fit in there and cook it all at once. This will be ungodly beneficial to you because, yeah, you can cook 2 shoulders and have that down. Then you can throw your brisket in and you can cook it a different day and have that down. And then you can throw your ribs in a different day and have that down. You can practice separately all you want, but until you throw all the meat on in the timeline that it takes to do it in your cooker, it's not going to happen. Because as you load that cooker up, it's going to take more wood. It's going to suck up more heat. It's going to throw your timing all off. So train like you fight. Do a complete mock competition. Even if it includes getting the boxes from Sam's, the turn-in boxes, buying your greenery for garnish. Do everything. Make an event out of it. Heck, invite your family over. Tell them you're going to feed them for a day or 2. Do it a couple times at least. Especially if you're first starting out, this will make a world of difference in your first competition. To that effect, this will also give you time to work out all the kinks in your timeline. I have a spreadsheet that I made up of when I needed to do what. At a certain time of night, that's when I know I need to light off my cooker. Then I can pull out all my meat and have it laid out and inject it, put the rub on it and everything. If something gets messed up, if your timeline overlaps to where you can't be in two places at once physically, or you can't be doing two things at once physically, your practice is the time to have that figured out. And again, train like you fight. If you do not do all your categories in practice at once, you're never going to know if your timeline's right, for sure. Because you didn't factor in the fact that adding all that meat is going to set your temperature down. And is going to lower your temperature because you have more mass in your cooker. This is the time to figure it out in practice. Because if you can have that all squared away, another military term, and have it all figured out while you're in practice, then everything's going to be streamlined. Your stress level is going to be so much. It's just a night and day difference between knowing what's going to happen and being shown what's going to happen, actually proving it. So definitely do a full comp. Another lesson that I learned while I was in competition or getting ready to do my first competition was that you need to get every single thing that you're going to use in competition and get what you need. I didn't figure that. I was like, chicken. Honestly, how hard is chicken? Do I really need to get an injection for it? Do I really need to get this particular rub? Do I really need to get a brine for this? I was trying to cut corners. I was trying to be cost effective because my wife's sitting here looking at me going, how much will this cost? Are you really going to spend this much on your rubs, your seasonings, your brines, your injections, and then spend this much more on meat, and then this much more on fuel? So I tried to cut corners, and it did not serve me well. If you know that you're going to need to get certain particular items to have the best product to turn in, then you're going to have to spend the money to do it. That may mean that you won't be able to do that particular contest that you want to go do at that particular time. Well, that's kind of a hard pill to swallow, but believe me, if you can't get what you need because of financial reasons, and hey, I get that. I'm on a fixed budget. I have no sponsors at all. I just like this shirt. I have absolutely no sponsors at all. So everything that comes out from my competition, it comes out of my pocket directly. No sponsors, no free rubs, no free equipment, no free fuel. It all adds up. Well, I have to plan. I have to look and see what competitions and how far away they are. There's a really cool competition coming up that's way over in the middle of Pennsylvania. I have to cross West Virginia and get halfway across Pennsylvania to get to it. Now, a lot of my friends who live on the other side of West Virginia are going to this competition. Would I love to go? Oh my God, yes. Is it really going to be feasible, especially with bills and everything else? Unfortunately, no. I look in a general area. If you are a member of KCBS and you really want to get into competition, one thing you can do is you type in from date to date. They have an event tracker. You can type in corresponding dates of like May the 5th through October 31st. And then you can put into a circle radius of how far away you're willing to drive. For me, 140 miles is probably about a good limit. About 2 hours away, give or take. And I'll put in either 140 or 150 miles, put in my zip code, and boom, it'll come up with all the competitions in that radius from me during that time frame. That's how I have to choose my competitions, because I can't go cross country. Just physically can't do it right now. Financially can't do it right now. One more thing, lastly, one of the things I know that you cannot skimp on is what kind of fuel that you're going to use. Now, for those of you that have gravity feeds or drums, or you're using pellet cookers, you're pretty well set. You know how much your fuel cost is going to be and where you're going to get it from. Now, for those of you who have a stick burner like I do and uses real wood like this, can you get it locally from a reputable source that isn't all ate up with moss and mildew and doesn't have bugs in it? Now, to that effect, applewood. My neighbor over here, actually literally right behind me, his family just chopped down an apple tree in his father's yard, and he asked me if I wanted it, and it was fresh. So this is going to sit in the here in my garage for anywhere from 6 months to a year before I can use it, because you're going to have to let it season. The thing is I will get made fun of by a lot of my neighbors locally, because they're like, dude, you're going online to order wood? Yeah. I got people that can do wood, that can bring you wood. Why would you ever pay for it like that? It's so expensive, and it is. If you go through Western Wood Products or Vaughn Wood Supplies, technically, yes, it's more expensive, but you get what you pay for. You hear this in a lot of other things. Wood is something that is definitely, you get what you pay for. This is hickory. This is post oak. Pecan. Or pecan, as Myron Mixon says. He says there's no O in pecan, so it's pecan. I get all this from Western Wood Products, and I typically order it from either Bass Pro Shop or Cabela's. From Bass Pro Shop, you can get both hickory and oak. From Bass Pro Shop, you can get both oak and mesquite. From Cabela's, you can get hickory and your pecan. I typically go through them, and 2 bags will run me in the neighborhood of $60. Now, mind you, a bag, theoretically, depending on the weather and everything else, will run my offset for at least one competition or a brisket at least, okay? Now, could you technically get your wood elsewhere? Because they do sell wood at Home Depot, at Lowe's, for fireplaces. They sell it for your fire pits that people put in the backyard, and it looks like this. Notice the difference in the length, and also kind of notice the difference in the quality. See that black? No bueno. This is all nice, clean, and pretty. Is it dusty? Yeah. But you don't have the kind of degradation that you have from the cheaper wood that you can get $5. You can spend $10 and get as much wood as I get in a bag of those from Bass Pro or Cabela's. You can spend $10, get just as much wood as you can get in one of those bags, but it's not as good a quality. When you go to competition, you're spending your hard-earned money to go compete, and you want the best possible product. This will not give it to you. Could you use it around the house? Sure. Could you use it for a party? Sure. No big deal. There's nobody or nothing that says that you can't use this, nor would it be fine. Wouldn't it be fine, I should say. But, not for me. I'll use that in my fire pit all day long. I'll get wood from someone who knows someone here in the local area that cuts down trees. I'll get wood from my fire pit all day long for me. But for competition, I'm spending the money. And to that effect, back to getting your meat, back to getting everything that you need for competition, train like you fight. If you're going to use Western Wood products or Vaughn Wood for competition, you better go out and spend the money and buy it for practice as well. Well, hopefully this video helps you in trying to figure out what you should spend money on versus my first video, which shows you hopefully where you can cut corners and save yourself a couple of nickels or dimes, dollar bills, hopefully, on what to do for competition barbecue. Now, so far everything I have had or I've done on here has been geared towards competition barbecue. Eventually, yes, I'm going to end up cooking some stuff, but right now, to begin with, I'm just trying to get this started, and I'm going to try and get videos to help people out to begin with, because there are so many videos of people cooking right now. If I'd have had this video to help me and the other one, it would have made a huge difference for competition barbecue. If you like what you see, hit the like button. If you want, subscribe. I'm not pressuring you to, but please also make sure to check out other videos from other friends of mine. Rich from Rich's River Smokers, the Cookout Coach, Steve. On Tuesday nights, there's a live video feed for the Barbecue Central show. Go look at Malcolm Reed on how to barbecue right. These are just a few of the videos that you can learn a lot from. We'll go into those more. I'll probably make a video on that. Until next time I put a video out, stay safe, have fun, and have a good time.